Timing usually isn't perfect like this, but it worked out this time. About an hour ago, Texas found the replacement for Terry Joseph, who just left actually yesterday, I believe, to join the New Orleans Saints as their passing game coordinator, which is the same title he got promoted to Texas not that long ago. And we found our new guy, our old guy, in Dwayne Akina. So what is your opinion on this hire, Gerald?
Oh yeah, no, I think if you're looking for somebody to teach X's and O's that knows the game, that's able to really coach up young defensive backs, there's not a better name out there than Dwayne Akina. Like, and this is one that Texas fans always kind of throw this out there when the opening is there that Dwayne Akina, bring him home, bring him home, bring him home. And I honestly love the hire. I think especially with the way that the defensive staff skews in the secondary, the coaches are pretty young. So bringing in a seasoned guy like Dwayne Akina, bringing in a guy who's got the cachet, like Dwayne Akina is a name. If you know anything about coaching defense and coaching secondary, you know who Dwayne Akina is, right? He's got great ability to teach. He's a great teacher, a great educator when it comes to coaching secondary. And, he's got something that a lot of coaches don't have in his position. He has a national championship ring with the school he's going to be coaching at, right? So when you come on campus for an on-campus visit and you want to meet with Dwayne Akina, he's going to shake your hand with a big old 2005 national championship ring on his finger that's, hey, have you heard of Aaron Ross? Hey, have you heard of the Griffin brothers? Hey, have you heard of any of these dozens of guys I coached at this very school that won championships and also went and made a lot of money in the NFL? So he's got a great ability to come in and really be that teacher, be that elder statesman in that secondary group. I love the hire for 1,001 reasons.
Yeah, I like the hire as well. And it's funny you said that. Yeah, anytime anyone gets fired, hell, not even sometimes, anyone leaves fired at Texas, he doesn't even have to be the secondary coach. Dwayne Akina's name is just thrown in there as, hey, why don't we bring him in as an analyst? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? And it almost happened. Remember, last year, guys, this was very close to happening. We got Johnny Nansen from Arizona. Then Dwayne Akina was on board for about 3 to 5 days. And then all of a sudden, Arizona's like, damn, we cannot lose him. So we're going to upgrade him to, I believe, defensive coordinator is what they ended up making him. Yeah. And then now he's back at Texas finally. And so we lose Terry Joseph, who was doing a fantastic job recruiting. I think development he was pretty good at. He's definitely not Dwayne Akina. Like you said, the skins on the wall for Dwayne Akina are high quality guys. I mean, you brought him up, Michael Huff and those guys. Michael Huff is a Thorpe Award. He got a Thorpe Award winner, got him to the NFL. He has a lot of those guys that he taught and got to the NFL. And you see that with Steve Sarkisian. I think he has realized in the era of NIL, you don't really need to hire recruiters. And we'll talk about that a little bit with our new running back coach and also our new cornerback coach. They may not be great recruiters, but they do a good job at developing, because guess what? NIL speaks more than the guys individually recruiting now. And we want these guys that can come in and develop. And that was also the thing with Kenny Baker. Kenny Baker was a guy that could come in and develop. He had NFL experience. He knew the X's and O's. And that's something Vernon Broughton brought up. Like he said, I feel like I'm being taught more now with Kenny Baker. He's more of a tactician. I feel the exact same way with Dwayne Akina. I think it's a really good hire. Now, is it a long-term hire? No. I think Dwayne Akina is probably going to be here maybe 3 to 4 years, and then it's going to pass the torch off to someone else because he is a pretty old guy. So we'll have to see how long he does stick around. But I will say he does like the University of Texas already being here, and we like what we got from him when he was here. So I really do like the hire.
Yeah, and I think, you mentioned the way that recruiting works nowadays, and I think there's something to be said, like the types of guys that Texas is going to be recruiting, NIL is not going to be an issue. They're going to get paid wherever they go. And so the recruiting pitch is what Texas is, right? The network that you get into, the ability to have that degree on the wall that has the Longhorn on it. You also, if you want to play at the next level, that's where you're really going to make your money. Because, yeah, an NIL deal is great in college, but let's get you to the pros. Let's get you to that second contract. And that's really what Dwayne Akina can sell, right? Because, again, Aaron Ross, a Thorpe Award winner that played for the Giants and won a Super Bowl with them, right? There are all sorts of names that he can bring up like, hey, if you want this, I can get you there. And that's a lot of what recruiting is nowadays in the era of NIL with these elite guys they're going to get paid. They know they're going to get paid regardless of where they go. So what is it? How is a team and how is a school going to set them up beyond what the school is going to do for them when they're on campus, right? How do they set them up for that next step? And that's what Dwayne Akina does. He comes in, he's an elite teacher of the game. He's an elite ball knower, as the kids say, right? He is able to coach these kids up, get them to a point where NFL teams are going to want them and going to want the skills that they have. And so that, to me, is the best recruiting pitch out there in the era of folks getting paid.
Yeah, 100%. And also, when you look at it too, we didn't even mention some names. Nathan Vasher, I believe Earl Thomas was under him. Blake Gideon, who just left to become the Georgia Tech defensive coordinator, also under Dwayne Akina. Like, he can point to that sort of stuff too. Like, look, I taught this guy everything he knows, and now he's the defensive coordinator of a college football team. And I think there's a realistic possibility that at some point Blake Gideon could be a head coach in college football, or even like a defensive coordinator in the NFL. So even for those like lower level guys, he'd be like, hey, you may not have an NFL future, but you could have a coaching future, and I can teach you just as much about standing on the sideline and teaching young men as I can about teaching young men on the football field. So I think that's important as well too, because let's be honest here, guys, not every one of these guys that comes through here is going to be an NFL football player. Most of them won't be. So I think that's also an important and cool thing aspect as well when you're looking at it. And I think that's really important. And it's going to be interesting. I think the only issue you could possibly see with this hire is how does he relate to kids? And also, it is a big jump up for me, to be honest with you, from going from Arizona to Texas. But again, he has enough skins on the wall. I'm not that worried about it. Yeah, I am nitpicking this hire, guys. I really like the hire. I had a list of names written down. That's funny when I was preparing for the show. They don't matter anymore. I'll share them right now just because I did write them. And I had Mike Mickens, Notre Dame, Torian Gray, South Carolina, which if it was up to me, other than Dwayne Akina, because I love the hire, that would have been my guy, because I think he has like 20 years of experience. He's from Houston, and he's also coached in the NFL, so he checks like every box off that you possibly need to have checked off. So I would really like that hire. But hey, that's in the past. Maybe he's the next guy after Dwayne Akina when he decides to retire. But I really like this hire.
Yeah, it's a great one, and we could talk about how much I love Dwayne Akina all night, but when push comes to shove, incredible hire, and we just got to trust Sark to make these moves, because he hasn't missed on a assistant coach or coordinator hire yet.
No, he hasn't. He's done a fantastic job of that. And that's the cool thing too, guys. Like, these guys aren't leaving because Sark's going to get fired or anything like that. They're leaving to take higher level jobs. The Char Choice went to the Lions. I can't be angry at a guy for going to the NFL. Terry Joseph, same thing, went to the Saints. The other hire was now I'm losing it. Blake Gideon, Georgia Tech. Yeah, thank you. Georgia Tech defense coordinator. So he's getting a promotion. No one's leaving for level jobs, guys. That is not happening under Steve Sarkisian. They're taking jumps up, which is a sign of a healthy football program. And I know it sucks, but hey, if you want to be good at this thing for a long time, you're going to have to do what Nick Saban did, which is constantly recycle your staff and be good at the hires you do get.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this, like you said, it's a sign of a healthy program, and it makes it a more attractive place when the time comes to replace it. Like, hey, your next step here can be your big job, right? If you want to go be a defensive coordinator at a Power 5 school, boom, we've done that, right? You want to go coach in the NFL, boom, we've done that twice, right? That is a selling point for coaches. You want your coaching staff to get poached for head coaching jobs, for coordinator jobs, for promotions, because again, it shows that one, what you're doing is working, and you can do that for the next guy in the room. And so the up and comers, the hungry coaches, the ones that are really go-getters are going to want to work for you. It's why they wanted to work. Everybody wanted to go to the Saban rehab program, right? Because they knew he could get them right, get them out the door, and get them a big job. And hopefully that's what Texas can turn this into.
100%. So again, guys, Dwayne Akina hired, takes the place of Terry Josephs in the secondary. So please hit that like button. Please subscribe down below. Again, we are 5 away from 3,000. So we really